Lesson, and I am truly excited. So, you don't want to miss this week's life lesson. Greetings, kings and queens, and welcome. How y'all doing today? Are y'all enjoying this beautiful spring weather? That's one less thing y'all have to complain about is the weather because it is cooperating right now. Anyway, the sunshine and all of the things that we can do to go outside and enjoy this beautiful weather. I hope we are taking advantage of this amazing weather. Um, Summer is my favorite time of year, but by all means, I will not deny myself the opportunity to soak up some sunshine. So I love when the weather begins to warm up for us. I know a lot of people would rather it be fall or chilly or cold opposed to it being warm, but I'll take warm weather any day. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you guys. I hope you all had an amazing week so far. I hope this past weekend was truly amazing for you. I gave you guys some things to think about on Friday. I forget what my motivational message was on Friday, but I was feeling it. It had me on fire, whatever it was. But I just hope that you guys are not just allowing the messages to surface for as long as you are listening to them. I really hope that you allow these messages to resonate in your spirit to the point where you find yourself doing things differently, sometimes differently in a way that it is going to be beneficial to you. I know I mentioned before that sometimes we can get stuck in our old habits and old ways, and sometimes we can just do things out of habit, regardless or not whether the thing is being beneficial to us. So I don't want us to be stuck in habit or just stuck in our own circle and just continuing to do the same things over and over and over again without seeing our life benefit in some way by our actions. Sometimes we can waste a lot of time on nothing. Sometimes we can waste energy. We can just be flat out tired. I see people do it all the time. And I know you heard the term work smarter, not harder. And that's what I want us to do, because if we do things in a certain manner, in a certain way, that's by all means what I want to apply to my life. If I do things in a certain manner, I know that I will make more progress and I will have to use less effort. So I will be less tired and I won't be just exhausted all the time and wasting energy and then turning around and realizing that I have made no progress. So I don't want that to be my reality. But by all means, if you have let the messages kind of seep in and not just listen to it and let it go right in one ear and out the other, then you will by all means see some kind of reflection of things getting better for you. Not saying that you may not be in a good place right now, but it is not easy to maintain a healthy body, maintain a healthy frame of mind. There are so many things that are more important than our financial statuses and the clothes that we wear and the cars that we drive and the homes that we live in. And a lot of us can be well off financially, but spiritually you could be bankrupt. You have no connection with your higher being. You are going through things mentally that you can't even talk to your spouse about. You laying in the bed with this person every night and you are having battles in your own mind and you are too afraid to speak of them. And this goes for my husbands and my wives. We can be going back and forth with these battles in our own mind because we're supposed to be the strong person and the strong individual that is able to fight through battles or whatever, and we are afraid to show the vulnerable weak side of us and the side that cries out for help, knowing that you have these struggles going on within inside of you. And sometimes we make we make the decision to bottle these things in, and eventually these things will begin to surface. You will begin to bleed out on everything and everyone around you if we don't focus on the things that we know that we need to focus on. So life is a journey, and it's a journey to be enjoyed, and we should not continue to go through the same suffering on the regular basis. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that continue to go through the same suffering day after day after day after day, that dread waking up in the morning, that just goes through the same struggle every morning and every day and throughout their lives. And this has been going on for so long, and we are just not taking the proper necessary steps to do the things that we have to do so we can break out of that cycle. It is harmful for us, and it takes away from our quality of life when we don't put things in its proper perspective and focus on the things that we know that we need to focus on the everyday basis. So this is why I talk to you. It's not easy. Even myself being a motivational speaker, I listen to motivational speakers. I like to be motivated too. I come on here and I speak to you, and I love the fact that God is allowing me to pour out my heart and to share my testimony, and hopefully spread a little bit of hope and love for those who have may hit a rough patch in their life or going through something unexpected. And that can be a range of things. But I like to be motivated too. I motivate myself too, and I struggle with things as well. And I'm always so grateful for the work that I put into focusing on a better mental health for myself, for fighting back against the attacks that try to come and take power and control over my mind, for staring my enemy in the face and telling my enemy that you will not defeat me, for taking power and control over my mental health and feeding myself positive thoughts on the regular basis. Those things are important to me. So as many times as I am trying that the enemy comes to try to attack my mind, that's as many times that I am fighting back against those attacks. I will not allow myself to be defeated under any circumstances, no matter what I'm going through. I could be, my kids can be getting on my nerves, my job, maybe certain things try to get in the way of my health or whatever that I have to go through. And if the enemy can take power and control over your thoughts and your mind and the thoughts that you are thinking, you are depleted and you are defeated. You will not even give your chance the fair opportunity to stand up and fight the way that you should, because you have already accepted defeat and failure in your own mind. So I refuse to allow that to be my reality. For as many times that I am attacked, that is as many times that I choose to stand up and fight for my own life. So these are the things that we have to take into consideration. I would be lying if I sit before you guys and tell you that I don't go through things on the regular basis. That's not my reality, that things don't try to come up and rise up against me. But I will also be lying if I tell you guys that I don't fight back, because I do. Every time I fight back and every time I win. I am victorious. If I made it this far, I will make it even further. So I just do not allow myself to be defeated under any circumstances. And I want that to be the reality of many people all over the world. And that's why I choose to sit before you guys and talk to you today, because you can apply that same theory to your life no matter what you have going on with yourself. You cannot allow yourself to lay down and be defeated under any circumstances. You have the choice to decide in your own mind whether you are going to fight back or not. So today I fight back. So we have once again been granted the opportunity to open our minds to new possibilities. Let's enjoy a journey of love and learning today. So that is the purpose behind me doing, one of the purposes behind me doing these life lessons so we can get to know ourselves more and begin to love ourselves more and open ourselves up to learning and loving. So we should be able to want to learn and love on a regular basis, depending on how you approach your life. Learning should be a pleasurable thing for you. So it is something that I take great pleasure in when I take these opportunities out to sit down and teach myself and import these same things on other individuals. I just don't hold it all in. So we add peace, pleasure, comfort, and joy to our lives by discovering that there is more life waiting ahead for us. So there are so many things when you allow yourself to be open up to lessons, you are able to bless yourself with more opportunities to grow more and move further in life. I know so many people that are stagnant, that are in the same place and cannot allow themselves to evolve from the place that they are in, and they don't have much peace, they don't have much joy, they don't have much pleasure, and they don't have much comfort in their lives. And I can honestly say that all of those things are a part of my daily life: peace, pleasure, joy, and comfort. And I enjoy my life today. I enjoy my life today because I am not afraid to open myself up to new possibilities, learning, growing, living, and all of those things that waits ahead for me. So let's live today. Even if it's just in these few moments, you make a conscious decision in your mind to say, I'm going to live. I am going to open myself up to living today. Because if you are living, then you are doing if you are not living, then you are doing the exact opposite. You are allowing yourself to waste away. And we want to enjoy the time that we have left on this earth to the fullest. We want to live our life to the max, whatever we are possible, capable of doing, of adding toward our lives, to whatever. There are so many things that we want and don't have, and I'm not talking about material things. There are a lot of people that want a lot of materialistic things that they don't have. There are a lot of materialistic things that I want and don't have. So I want to grow myself in so many different areas of my life, but a lot of people don't have things that money cannot buy. They don't have love. They don't have self-love. They don't have peace of mind. They don't have joy. They don't have happiness. They don't enjoy life the way that they should enjoy it on the regular basis, because we allow so many things to get in the way of the peace and love and joy that lies ahead for us. Of course, life is going to show up. Of course, we're going to have to deal with the things that we have to deal with. 99.9 of the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis are probably things that are not any fault of our own. We have to deal with things from other people's mistakes, generational curses, things within inside of our own bloodlines. Sometimes we can choose the wrong mate and end up marrying the wrong person, and with that comes suffering. And we have to be wise enough to break out of those chains. We are human. Mistakes are allowed, but we cannot allow ourselves to be succumbed by our mistakes and taken over by our mistakes and allow our mistakes to define us, because we are more than the mistakes that we make in our life. Not, I was going to say made, like we're not going to make any more mistakes, but we are human and mistakes are allowed. You could be making a mistake right now and don't even realize that you are making a mistake. You can't come down on yourself mentally and tear yourself apart mentally and all of those things every time you make a simple mistake. I have gotten in the simple habit of telling myself when I make mistakes that I am human, mistakes are allowed, and next time I am going to do better. And that is way better than calling myself a bunch of names and why did I do that and that was stupid and all those type of things. If I slip up and talk out of order to myself, I apologize to myself. I am very kind to myself today. That is something that I have never been in my entire life. I learned how to be kind to myself because people were not very kind to me. So why should I abuse myself on top of the abuse that I already had to endure in my life? So I make the conscious decision in my mind to be kind to myself. Even if I'm frustrated and I lash out on myself and say something, out of snapping, or, why did you do that? That was stupid. I'm like, nope, you're not talking to yourself like that. You will never, ever talk to yourself like that. So now I am very, very kind to myself. I don't snap out on myself at all. I realize that I am human and I make mistakes, and as long as God wakes me up every day, that is another opportunity for me to try again and do things in a better way. And that can be a range of things as well, anything from my parenthood to my choice in people that I date or whatever, my career paths, my decisions that I make for my body or my spiritual walk, or, if I'm wasting time or whatever, if I'm eating too much junk or whatever. I know that I'm human and I know that I will make mistakes and I know that I want more for myself. So I constantly uplift myself and my own thoughts in my own mind and speak positive words over myself. It makes such a major difference to me. I know that that is one thing that is proven to be effective. Even when I look myself in the mirror every night, I practice self-care on myself. Hours out of a week. I was just thinking to myself the other day, the amount of hours that I practice self-care is probably equivalent to a normal work week for some individuals, and I was like, that's sad. But I do practice a lot of self-care on myself, and I look myself in the mirror while I'm practicing self-care, during my self-care, or in the beginning of my self-care, or maybe when I'm wrapping it up. And I speak such positive words over myself, looking directly at myself. And that makes an immense difference on my life and the way that I think about myself, how I feel about myself, and how I am moving forward with interacting with different people. It gives me a sense of confidence and security within myself. I can depend on myself. I can feel good about myself. I don't have to tear myself down every time I make a mistake. I breathe life into myself. And that is something that I have learned how to make my reality. And if it was up to the people that abused me, I would still believe the lies that I was taught about who I was never going to be, and the names that they called me, and the things that they said to my face and behind my back, and about my children and about my life and all of those things. I would be convinced of the lies that I was taught about myself initially, even growing up as a child. I had to break out of that mindset, and it's a process. And if you don't begin to do it now, that is going to be the hardest part of you breaking out and getting onto the other side of your success, is breaking out of the old mindset and the way that you think and feel about yourself. Success begins in your mind. And if you don't feed yourself positive thoughts about you, it's going to be very hard for you to be greatly successful about with anything. It's just not going to work if you have yourself set up on a low level in your own mind. You have to take it from here to here, and you have to practice doing it every single day. So y'all don't think I'll be doing the work. Don't think I'll be sitting up here and telling y'all and teaching y'all and just telling you things that I research and all this stuff on a daily basis. I do tell you things that I research, and I do apply these things to my own life. But it's things that I do behind closed doors that don't nobody know that I do. And I'm telling you right now, the things that I do when no one is watching. And these things prove to be very effective. And I promise you, if you focus on your life in a manner that you need to focus on your own mental health and your self-improvement and your growth on a regular basis, you will skyrocket to a place that you only dream that you could be. No, I don't have everything that I want in life, but I am in a place in my life that some people never experience. Never. From the time that they are born to the time that they leave here. That lives. I'll be 44 years old this year, Lord willing, if God allows me to see August 13th of 2024. And I know people that have gone way past 44 years old, 20, 30 years, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old that have never acquired peace in their mind. Some people take themselves to an early grave because they torture themselves with their own thoughts. And how much pleasure are you getting out of life by allowing yourself to be consumed with such negative thoughts? So it is not an easy thing to do, but it is worth it. And I work on it. I work on myself every single day. And I strongly encourage you to do the same as well. So this is this week's life lesson, but it just be stuff that I be needing to get off my chest, because I'm going to try to break it down and get through to you the best way that I can get through to you, because I see adult people still suffering in some of the ways, and just stuck in suffering for way too long. Don't just listen to the messages. You have to begin to try to apply some of these things to your life on the regular basis. We have to learn how to change our ways. It's the only way that these things are going to be proven to be effective. I can talk to you guys about a lot of things that I do because I do them. I can't tell you something that I don't know, that I haven't tried. I only tell you things that I know, well, that I have studied, that have been proven over the years, scientific facts, psychological studies. I do a lot of research. I read a lot. I look into a lot of things. I study life all around the board, interactions with people on the regular basis, and I just take mental notes, physical notes, and this is my material that I come up with that allows me to be able to teach life from my own personal experiences, from my testimony and all of those things. But also, I apply so many of these things to my life personally. Yes, it is time consuming. No, you can't focus on your next door neighbor problems next door and yours at the same time. Yes, you are going to have to put some people and their problems on a back burner so you can focus on your own self. I can't focus on everybody else and prioritize my own mental health at the same time. It's not going to work like that. So that was just my introductory. I have not even introduced my what this week's life lesson is going to be. I guess those were things that I've been waiting to express to you guys, and I hope someone got something out of that. So before we dive into this week's life lesson, let's breathe in some gratitude. Let's just calm our spirits, take a few deep breaths in and out, clear your mind, calm your spirit, and fill yourself wholeheartedly and completely, with the spirit of gratitude that will instantly lift up your vibrations and take you to a higher place right now, no matter who you would arguing with last night, or who you woke up with arguing with this morning, or the text messages or the emails, or who you allowed to get on your nerves, and all of those type of things. You can diminish those negative emotions right here, right now, in this moment, by allowing yourself to be consumed in gratefulness. So not only are you lifting your own vibrations, but you are literally opening yourself up to bigger and better and more blessings. So here we go. Close your eyes, taking a couple deep breaths, and just allow yourself to be filled with gratitude, overcome with gratitude. Think about the things that you are most grateful for right here, right now, in these moments. So here we go. Whew. I hope that you felt that, because I did. I literally felt my vibrations raising up in those moments by me allowing myself to be full of gratitude. So, are you guys ready for this week's life lesson? So, this week's life lesson is one of those whipped cream on top. Like, if you got, just imagine a fresh hot piece of your mom's sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving, and then you go put a scoop of ice cream next to it, and then pile some whipped cream on top, just to top off that good old homemade sweet potato pie fresh out the oven. That's what this lesson is to me. I mean, this is a knock my socks off type of lesson. I am through the roof, so excited about what God has placed in my heart with delivering this message on today. I believe that it is very timely. It is very valuable. And it is very important that we learn how to apply this to our life now, today, in the times that we are living in. So God gave me wisdom today. Yeah. Did y'all just like get excited? Get as excited as I am. I am telling you, wisdom is something that I try to apply to my life. I know I'm different. And I realize that, and just always, all through my entire life, people have told me that I am more mature for my age, even at a really young age, my teenage years, my young adult years. You're very mature for your age. So I see myself as a wise person. I would like to see myself as a wise person, and a lot of things that my experiences in life, I believe that they happen for a reason. So a lot of things I allow to stick to me so I can refer back to them. And yes, I do go through things just like everyone else does, but I would hate to be the person that is continuing to go through the same things day after day, year after year, month after month, and just continuing in the same suffering in my life for way too long. So that is not utilizing your wisdom. I want to be the type of person that utilizes my wisdom today and all the time. So I would like to be able to consider myself a wise person. So I have already talked for way too long. Like I said, this week's topic is wisdom. I will probably find myself talking about wisdom all week to the end of this week, and trust me, I don't mind. This is a very valid and timely message. So I hope you guys are prepared and ready to kind of soak in some wisdom today. So wisdom, what is wisdom? Wisdom is a deep understanding of how things work. Boom. That is basically what made the most sense to me. That wisdom is a deep understanding to how things work. And it's not only the understanding of how things work, it is applying those things to your life. Like wisdom is not only knowing, but it's taking action and doing as well. Applying wisdom to your life. Wisdom is accumulated knowledge and knowing how to properly apply it to your life. So accumulated knowledge, and those are the things, like I was just saying, the things that happened to me over the years. I do not want to find myself in the same suffering. That is one main reason why I do not do a lot of things that I used to do, because I know where it led me before. And not only that, if I was to still continue to be doing this, a lot of the same things that I used to do in my past, and I know where those things led me before in my past, and I could just imagine where my life would be if I was still trying to associate myself with those same bad behaviors. I would be going through some of the same struggles that I was going through 10, 15, 20 years ago, and even worse. I would be nowhere where I am today. And sadly, that is so many people's reality. They are still going through some of the same things that they have been going through for oh so long. And even worse, their lives have been tragically affected in so many ways. I was talking to really, really good friends of mine and just catching up and talking about back in the day. Big shout out to y'all. I love y'all. I know y'all probably popping on some of my messages every now and then. And we were talking about some of the people, the same people that we grew up with, that has really bad health diagnosis or strung out on drugs. Some may have even died for different reasons. And we were just like talking about how grateful we are that we do not suffer today in a lot of ways, that the same people that we grew up with in middle school when we were younger, and some of those people are not here anymore. Some of them through faults of their own, and some of them not through faults of their own. Of course, some people get sick and they die, and some things we don't have control over, but some people just has allowed their lives to just fall by the wayside and just have let themselves go over the years. Some people just don't even look good, and that is not a very wise person. It's one thing when you get caught up in certain things and you have to learn what's good for your life and what is not good for your life, but being caught up and stuck in that trap of insanity for year after year after year, and you can look yourself in the mirror and see the damaging effect that these things has had on your life over the years, just by looking at yourself. If you don't look good, that the things that you have been doing, how they have been taking a toll on your life, and some people just don't care. So and we don't understand inside of the minds of other people, and I'm not excusing people for their actions and the decisions that they make on their life, but I know some people may not be as strong as others. Me personally, with my testimony of me being a survivor of childhood molestation, someone that I knew very dearly, my same age. We celebrated our birthdays together because we were the exact same age. Our birthdays were a few years apart, but she died a few years ago, and she had the same testimony as I did. She was molested as a child, and her mind just would not regulate because of the trauma that she was caused as a child. So sometimes we may not understand why people get stuck in the frame of mind that will not allow them to move forward, and that can cause damaging effects on their overall life. Some people may be going through things mentally. Some people may not be as strong as others mentally for them to be able to overcome some of the things that other people has overcome. And like I said, I'm not excusing this because this is your life. And you have the decision whether you're going to break out of the chains and the shackles that have been holding you down and apply wisdom to your life. I've been through this. I'm not going to do the same thing that I know damaged me before in the past. When is it going to become a time where you take a reflection on your own life and say, if it happened in that way before, why would I do it again now and expect something else to happen in a different way? We are not children. The majority of the people that I speak to on the regular basis are my age. I do have a younger audience, and I'm so grateful that I do have a younger audience between their 20s and 30s. I even have a teenage audience as far as I can see on my YouTube channel, and I want to be able to reach different people of different ages, but for the most part, we are adult people and we are perfectly able to make sound decisions in our own mind. Some of us are so grown, ain't nobody telling us what to do because we grown. I'm grown, you can't tell me what to do. If you are that grown that nobody can tell you what to do, why don't you tell yourself what to do? Why don't you tell yourself that the decisions that I have been making have not been that beneficial to me in my life, and I want to try something in a better way that is going to add value to my life, that is going to help me. Help yourself. Help yourself. Speak these words into yourself. I'm not going to keep suffering in the way that I have been suffering for way too long. I want to apply a certain sense of wisdom that is going to be evident over my life. Oh, she's smart. He's smart. You ain't gonna catch her. Yeah, she went through whatever she had to go through. I know they don't say much about me right now because they talk more when you're doing bad than they do when you're doing good. But that's okay because I know I'm doing good and I don't have to prove myself to nobody. But talk good to yourself. Talk to yourself and tell yourself the things that you need to step outside of. Some of these old habits and some of these old ways. Get yourself unstuck from out of your own bad habits so you can move forward in your life. Some of your feet is stuck in cement that you need a whole chisel or something to break the bricks open that is surrounding you, that's holding you down because you just been sitting there for way too long. Some of you are in quicksand and you just been sinking deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and you see the reflection that these things have been having on your life. I'm talking to whoever this may apply to, because you know that your life have been affected in a certain way from certain decisions that you make over your own life, and you are doing very little or maybe just enough to satisfy your own conscience. But you ain't really making no progress. You just trying to fool yourself into thinking that you doing something when you know you ain't doing nothing. You know you ain't making no serious progress. You know you are not doing much to break out of some of the suffering that you have been going through for way too long. That can be in your health, that can be in your mental health, that can be a lack of peace, that can be however, put it where it go in your life. You know where it belongs for you in your life. I have not been very wise as far as a certain situation is concerned. What you gonna do, bro? Like, what you gonna do about that? Are you gonna continue to allow yourself to stay in the same suffering and even worse, or moving backwards with your own life? Some gonna have to give eventually, because you're going to change, but what direction that you're going to change in is up to you. You are either going to go from bad to worse, or you are going to go from bad to better. How you change is absolutely up to you. So learning how to apply it to your life, accumulated knowledge and knowing how to properly apply it to your life. Question: are you applying to your life the things that you say you know? I know y'all need a minute, right? You need a second to think about that. Are you applying to your life? Because some of y'all know everything. Oh, you ain't got to tell me because I know, and they will out-talk you in a minute, over-talk you, tell you what you need to be doing, tell you what your life need to be like, and which they got the all the advice in the world. But are you taking your own advice? How you got so much advice for everybody else, but you can't even take your own advice? What do you need to do for your life? The same advice that you are giving other people, apply it to your own life. So ask yourself that question today. Let's little brain teaser. I'm trying to give y'all something to think about. Are you applying to your life the things that you claim up and down? I know this, I know that. You don't have to tell me because I already know. Okay, that's good. And I'm glad that you know. But knowing is only half the battle. You can't just know something and not do anything about it. Knowing something is pointless if you ain't going to apply it to your life. Just like they say, they like to say knowledge is power. And a lot of people like to be convinced that knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is just knowledge. Applied knowledge is power. When you take the things that you know and you put them in areas of your own life where they need to go. And this don't have nothing to do with you helping Susie May and all of them around the corner and applying your knowledge to somebody else's life. Apply your knowledge to your own life. Because you might as well not even have the knowledge if you ain't going to do nothing with it. So are you applying the things that you claim up and down and all around that you know so much more than everybody else and all that stuff? Are you applying these things directly to your life and putting them where they need to go? Because some of y'all just know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I know a lot. And I am grateful for where I am today, and I'm still learning. But I don't want to sit here and pack all this stuff on inside of me. And I want to, I want to learn more. I want to acquire more knowledge if I'm not doing nothing with the things that I already know. I want to apply the things that I know to my life. That's the only way it's going to work. If you work it. So you can know something or try to make yourself look good as long as you want to. You're not fooling nobody but you, because a lot of y'all know so much, but your life is a mess. So that just goes to show how much you know right there. You're not even taking a leap of faith of having enough courage within yourself. You're too afraid to apply the knowledge. You done talked yourself out of it before you even tried. Oh, I can't do that anyway. But why you telling somebody else what they need to do? If you too afraid to do something that's going to have a good effect on your own life, don't tell me what I need to do if you ain't doing it or if you're not doing anything at all. A lot of us know too much and don't do enough. That's period, point blank. So, yes, wisdom. That's what wisdom is. When you learn how to apply the things that you know to your own life. Wisdom is doing now what is going to please you later. We're going to break this thing wide open. Wisdom is doing now what is going to please you later. It might not feel so good right now. So my best example of me applying wisdom to my life is I made a conscious decision to uproot my children, my family. I was married at the time, from the city of Philadelphia and moved to the state of Delaware. So I was going through a lot of suffering at the time in the city of Philadelphia. My marriage was at the time then struggling. I am divorced now. My children needed help, the help that I know that I needed more support with getting help. And I knew that if I was to stay. I was actually in Delaware County. So I moved my kids from North Philly and we moved to Upper Darby, and we did get a nicer home in Upper Darby. So it was a step up from how we used to live, but just still being in the state of Pennsylvania, I was still going through some of the same suffering. So God placed it in my heart one day. My husband and I jumped in the car and we drove way out here where I am now, almost 2 hours, into the state of Delaware. And God placed it in my heart. He said, put your kids in the car and just go. And if I believe that that is one of the greatest testimonies of me utilizing my wisdom, is me knowing that if I was to stay where I am, that I would not benefit much or get close to what I wanted out of life staying in the state of Pennsylvania, opposed to the life that my children and I are experiencing on such a grand level today. We are extremely blessed. So many doors have been opened for us. When I look at the lives of my children and how blessed we are today, it is amazing for me. And when I was preparing this message last night, I said, if I had to give one of the best examples of me utilizing my own wisdom and applying it to my life, it was me taking the action steps on moving forward to uprooting my family to a whole nother state to begin a new life for ourselves. And it is, till this day, it is very beneficial for us in so many ways. When I think about it, I was just driving down an open road a few days ago, and it was like I was thinking to myself, just reflecting back on how our life was when we were still in Philadelphia and still living in the state of Pennsylvania. And I said to myself, it seems like I broke the world open for my children, opposed to us living the way that we were living. And the majority of my children are adults now. They have beautiful lives mapped out before themselves. My children are doing very well for themselves. Even my two oldest sons that are still living in this city of Philadelphia, but I have 5 of them here with me now. And it's like I broke the world open for them to see more, to live more, to do more, and to experience more. So I took their world from this to this by making a wise decision to pick them up and relocate them somewhere else where they were better able to bloom and to blossom and to grow and to be more successful. So I'm grateful to God that I was obedient in those moments, because we had nothing and it was hard, and I did not allow myself to be overcome by the fear of what we did not have to even give ourselves a fresh brand new start. I just stepped out on faith and did it, and it was very beneficial to us in so many ways, and still is, that I cannot even express to you in words how blessed the lives of myself and my children are since I made the conscious decision to move us from one state to another state. So when you apply wisdom to your life, you will see the outcome of it, because I knew the things that I was going through when I was in one place. And I knew that if I wanted to see a difference in my life and the lives of my children, then I was going to have to do something different. And I made the wise decision to do so. So if you can think about your own life. What have you done that may have been one of the wisest decisions that you have ever made in your life? I believe this far to date that me relocating my children was one of the wisest decisions that I have ever made in my entire life. So I'm grateful for myself with being obedient in doing so. So I did something then, and that this just made me think about it when I read wisdom is doing now what is going to please you later. So yes, that worked out for us in a major way. So even now, if you had to think about it, what can I do now that I know is going to please my life or have a major effect on my life in a different way? If I made what wise decision, it may not be relocating to a different state for you, but what wise decision can you make in your own life for yourself right now that is going to have a major benefit, that is going to please you for yourself in your future? So, wisdom is a loving spirit. Those who have wisdom have love. I love love. And I wrote that down. I came across that in my study, and I love everything about love. You can ask anybody that knows me. My daughter was just telling me the other day, she was like, Mom, every time you hear somebody is breaking up or getting divorced or whatever, you always try to say people need to get back together. And I do. I love love, and I believe in love, and I hate to see loving relationships break up or whatever. And I just love love. So there is something in wisdom that has love. And it says wisdom is a loving spirit. So if you have wisdom, then you have a loving spirit. So I love everything about that. So seek wisdom more than you seek money. Wisdom is worth more than money. And I felt that. I wrote that down because I felt that, because it's a lot of us out here that's chasing after money and not chasing after wisdom. And we are not living a very pleasing life, because that's all you got is money. Some people pay too much for their money. Some people trade in their health, their mental health, their life. Some people die for the dollar. And that's just not very wise. Wisdom is worth more than money. I would rather have wisdom than money. It will take me further than money will, and I will live longer and live a more fulfilling life if I had some wisdom. And if properly applied, you can have a decent amount of wisdom and money. You can have both. I'm not saying you can't have one without the other. I'm just saying our priorities are not straight. Wisdom is worth more than money. And I don't think too many of us know that. So, wisdom is a healthy fear of God. Let's talk about God, because a lot of us don't have a healthy fear of God. I was talking about when I was out speaking, I believe it was last week, how some people just use God for everything, and at this point is complete blasphemy, and God will not be mocked. And a lot of things that people do to go against the will of God and use God as that God told me to do that or this, or God wanted me to do that, and a lot of things that people say is God that are not of God. It is just blasphemy. How can you fear God on a level? We should have a healthy fear of God. By certain things, we are just too afraid of what we may have to answer to. Like, you're going to have to answer for your actions one day. So I believe that is one thing that we lack of in today's society, is a healthy fear of God. Not saying that we should go around. God loves you. God loves you more than you love yourself. So we have to know that. But we should have a healthy fear of God to the extent to where there are certain things that we are just not going to do, because I don't want to have to deal with God. And a lot of us is going to have to deal with God because of our actions, how we treat other people, the things that come out of our mouth, and us just using God as everything, as a way to get over, as to some of these financial institutions are doing and saying things to gain financial. Not all of them. Some of them might be genuine, but and I'm not pointing towards one particular religion, in particular. But some people just use God in a way that God should not be used, and you are going to have to answer to that one day. So when we make wise decisions, we not only please God, but many others will benefit from it. So a lot of times, especially those of us that are parents, and we sit up there and tell our kids, don't do what we do what we say, and all these type of things, and we think because we're adults that other people are not going to be affected by the things that we do. Those of us, for instance, that struggle with our eating habits. You struggle with your eating habits. You are not taking advice from your doctor. You are struggling in your health, and your family is watching you destroy yourself. That is the reality of so many people. Then when the diagnosis come, and the heart failure and the diabetes and the high blood pressure and all of these things, and your family have to stand over there and watch you, and they have to stop their lives when they got to run up to the hospital or come to the doctors with you or plan your funeral or whatever, because you just have not made the wise decision. Some of us go through unnecessary suffering. And eating an extra meal or extra plate of food, or stuffing yourself with food that that your body just does not need, destroying yourself. Food can be as deadly as drugs. Too much of anything can be harmful to you. And a lot of people destroy ourselves. Americans, period. We are way too overweight, unhealthy. A lot of things that they have on the shelves is not even food. These things are bioengineered. I tried to research what bioengineered food is because I was having a very bad reaction. Now I read labels more than ever. It take more time for me to shop in the supermarket because I have to literally read every label of every product that I put in my cart if I know that I'm going to eat it. But if you Google bioengineered food, some of them tell you that you can catch cancer. Some of the foods tell you blatantly right on the package that if you eat this, you can die from cancer. And let me just tell you, you can't even look up what bioengineered food is, because it's not going to tell you unless you know somebody, or Google is not going to tell you. You're not going to find it online anywhere. You have to go look for it in a book, or you have to know a scientist or whatever to find out what bioengineered food is. Bioengineered foods literally makes me sick. It fills me with mucus. It triggers my allergies. It makes me sneeze. Mucus causes cancer. A lot of people wonder why they are so sick, and it is simply because of the food that you are putting in your mouth. And it is not worth you getting cancer and dying over these type of things. But let's not even talk about the bioengineered food now today, because these are things that they are just putting up on the shelves. It's all about the money. They wouldn't even feed it to their own mother or children, let alone eat it themselves. And people are dying because of the food that are on the shelves at your local supermarket every single day. Please watch what you eat. But bioengineered foods to the side right now. We just eat too doggone much. A lot of people just eat too much. We are shoving food down our throat. Our stomachs is sitting out in our laps, out to freaking wazoo. Your heart is working overtime. Your kidneys, your lungs, your liver, your pancreas, everything is working overtime. You are causing your body more stress than what you have to cause your body. You eating things that you know you should not have been eating. Some of us already got diagnosis hanging over us. The doctor already told you your blood pressure is high, you're borderline diabetic, and all of those type of things, and you still out here eating stuff that you know you ain't got no business eating. So I'm talking about this because wisdom, if we utilize our wisdom, it will benefit the people around us. Nobody trying to stop their whole life because you in the hospital sick, because you putting stuff in your body that you know you shouldn't be putting in your body, or doing stuff to yourself. It don't just stop with you having pleasure of eating an extra candy bar or whatever. Your kids gonna have to suffer for that. Your family is gonna have to see you watching you destroy yourself. Your actions don't just affect you. Your actions affect everyone around you. And I think, how people gonna care about how their actions affect other people if they don't care about how just don't care about their own selves. People just don't even care enough about themselves. And you sitting up here on social media, you putting on a front, and you putting on makeup, and you shining up your shoes, and you taking trips, and you doing all the fancy stuff that look good, but we don't even care enough about ourselves to put better things into our body. We are straight destroying ourselves with the things that we put into our bodies on the regular basis. What you do does not only affect you, it affects everyone around you. Your family is watching you destroy yourself. So it is not only not pleasing to God, but it is very unbeneficial to people that love you and that are looking at you do these things. Listen, y'all don't have to like me today. I'm just a messenger, but it's true. That is so true. When we make wise decisions, it benefits your loved ones. It helps not only you, but it helps the people around you too. So, so ask God for wisdom, and he'll give it to you. You will not have wisdom if you don't have God. You need God to have wisdom. And if you ask God for wisdom, God will grant you wisdom. We so busy out here asking God for the husband and the house and all that stuff, but we are not asking God for the wisdom to even help us maintain those things. Some of us got the husband in the house and your life's still a mess. You still not where you want to be, or even where you are supposed to be. Even in your own mind, you are sick in your own mind with the husband in the house. That's not wisdom. You're not applying wisdom to your life if you are stuck in suffering. That is period, point blank. So if you lack results, you lack wisdom. If you have not seen progress in your life, if you are not moving forward, if you don't see yourself making a difference, if you don't see the things that you do on the regular basis have a positive impact, even looking back on your life, I don't have to suffer the ways that I have to suffer. I see a difference. I see a change. I'm different today. That's the old me. It don't even have to be a major difference. It can be minor results, minor differences that makes major impacts on your life. If you don't see any results of any differences on the way, any progress on the way that you have been living, the way that you used to live, opposed to what your life looks like today, then you have a serious lack of wisdom. Something ain't right. You ain't doing something right. You got to change up your theory or something. You got to find a better way to do things where you see an impact that is going to show results of your life. You can give yourself a standing ovation. I am so glad that I am applying certain things to my life in a certain way. I want you to be proud of yourself and glad that you are making progress in your life because you are applying wisdom to your life on the regular basis. So, yeah, so if you don't see no differences in your life, then you don't, that's one sure way to determine whether you have a lack of wisdom or you have a healthy amount of wisdom in your life, whereas though it is having a good effect on you. Wisdom is to hate evil and to part from sin. I am not quite sure where that is found, but I came across that during my study. And to hate evil and to part from sin is being wise. I am celibate and sober, and I am living my best life. I don't do half the things in my life today that I used to do 10 years ago. And I'm so glad that I make the conscious decision to put certain things behind me, because they have a major effect on how I feel about myself and the things that I do for myself now on the regular basis. So, and a lot of things that I used to do in my life were sinful in nature. I used to be a bitter person. Now I do hate evil. I don't like evil people. I don't like evil actions. These things are not of God. So I changed the direction of the way that my life was going, and I live a better life today than I have ever lived in my past. I'm not saying that I will be celibate forever. Maybe I will be. Maybe I will not be. I will let God lead me in the direction that He would have me go. But I've basically been celibate since I parted from my marriage and got divorced, which is coming up on 5 years in a few months. So I will be celebrating 5 years of celibacy. And I feel so good about where my life is today. I owed that time to myself to be able to learn and grow and love myself more on a level that I have never loved myself before. So, and I don't have to be convicted in my spirit and things sitting on my conscience and all of those type of things, because I am living in a way that is not so pleasing to God. So wisdom is to hate evil and to part from sin. So if you know that you are in any way, shape, or form interacting with anything that is in an evil nature or of a sinful nature, then you are not utilizing wisdom in your life today. I'm trying to help y'all. Listen, we talking about what wisdom is. I'm trying to help somebody grasp a good picture of what wisdom looks like. And I'm trying to give you some tools on how you can apply wisdom to your life today. So, what makes a person an example of wisdom? You might want to grab yourself a pencil and a piece of paper right now. So, this is what makes a person an example of wisdom. Do the right thing. Always do what's right. I was thinking about some words of wisdom my father imparted on me before he left this earth, and this will stick to me until I am no more. My father told me that there is no right way to do the wrong thing. Right is right and wrong is wrong. That is wisdom. Wisdom is doing the right thing. So that's one. I think I wrote down 3 of them. I had a few more, but I chose the ones that I wanted to incorporate in my message. So achieving a good life is wisdom. Achieving a good life. If you can look at your life right now, what does your life look like to you right now? Are you living a good life? Because wisdom is achieving a good life. What do you consider a good life? A good life would be living in peace, living in joy, living in happiness, being able to help others, indulging in the labor of love, that is doing things that you know that you would do for free, that no one would even have to pay you to do. You might get paid for some of the things that you do that you know that you love to do, but the saddest thing is someone working their behinds off, a 9 to 5, and a job that they hate, and you selling your time for $20 an hour, and you hate what you're doing, and you are not indulged in a labor of love. We have to find ourselves doing something that we know is pleasing to us, that is going to add value to ourselves and to this world. That is the labor of love, doing something that you know that you love, that you are doing. So have you achieved a good life? Is your life consumed in things that you love to do? And thirdly, deciding life's path. That is a wise person. When you made a conscious decision of this is what I want to do with my life, and I am sticking to it. I will not be easily swayed by people's opinions or by circumstances or by things being difficult for me at times or whatever. I am making a conscious decision in my own mind what I want my life to look like in my future, and this is what I want to do. That is wisdom. So wisdom can be taught and learned. I want y'all to listen because my notes, wisdom is deep, and my notes might get a little deep. And I want you to be able to stick with me here. It may not. It may and it may not, but just follow along with me, please. So wisdom can be taught and learned. I am teaching wisdom right now, but I also want to be able to learn wisdom. That is one of the main reasons I said I am going to teach a life lesson on wisdom. Number one, I never prepared a life lesson on wisdom before. And number two, I want to incorporate more wisdom in my life on the regular basis. I want to be a more wise person. And even if I have been applying wisdom to my life thus far in my life, I want to be even more wise. I never want to catch up with myself where I think I know enough or have done all that I need to do. I want to continue to become more wise on the regular basis, whatever that may look like to me. So wisdom can be taught and learned. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. I want to feel like a dummy in life. If I had to break it down into simplest terms, the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. As many things that I have acquired in my life, learning from life and self-educating and being a mother and all of those things, there is still so much more for me to learn. Learning and growing is a never-ending process. So wisdom is knowing that, wait a minute, let me read it exactly how it is. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. Some of us think we know everything. Some people, you can't tell them nothing because they claim they know everything. Listen, to each his own. I do not want to suffer in that way. So, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. How many of us out here know ourselves? Because if you want to become wise and you don't know where to start, you can start there. Getting to know who you really are. Some of us have the faintest clue about who we really are. You can start with getting to learn yourself, getting to love yourself, and getting to know yourself. That is the beginning of all wisdom. You can have knowledge without wisdom, but you can't have wisdom without knowledge. Knowledge comes first. So you can have knowledge without wisdom. Wisdom and knowledge goes hand in hand. You can have knowledge all day long, but without knowledge, knowledge alone does not give you wisdom. You have to have wisdom. You have to have knowledge to have wisdom. So wisdom cannot stand alone because knowledge comes first. So if you want to have more wisdom, then go out here and learn yourself something. Teach yourself something. Gain more knowledge within yourself so you can become more wise. So when we make decisions, it allows us to choose things that brings us joy. And we want to have more joy in our life. When we make wise decisions, it allows us to choose things that brings us joy. A lot of us make decisions on a regular basis, but we don't make wise decisions. So you don't want to just be able to say, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I choose to do whatever I want to do. I'm grown. Can't nobody tell me what to do. Are the decisions you are making for yourself, are these wise decisions? Because if they are not very wise decisions, you will deprive yourself of true joy. And everyone wants to have joy in their lives. The knowledge and understanding that comes from wisdom gives us the best chance for happiness and success when we properly apply it to our lives. We all want happiness and success. I don't know one person out here who says they do not want to acquire happiness and success in their lives. And I know so many people that don't have either one. A lot of people are not happy or successful. So get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. So many people are stuck in their old ways. They refuse to budge. They are so stubborn. I've been doing things in the same way for so long. Yeah, we can tell. That's why you are where you are and your life is what it is. And every time somebody talk to you, you say, well, oh, you know, such and such, well, I'm still dealing with this and that hurt and the doctor said, and I don't care or whatever. And it is evident that you are just stuck in your own stubborn ways, in your own comfort zone, or just do something that takes you out of your comfort zone. Some of us need to relocate to another part of the world, or need to travel across the world, or open up your mind, or jump on a plane or a boat or a train or something to see different parts of the world, to open up your mind up to new experiences and just get out of your comfort zone. Some people never left the city that they live in. My godfather told me that I miss him so much. He was almost 70 years old when he passed away, lived in the city of Philadelphia all his life. And he was saying, I believe so anyway, I believe he lived in the city of Philadelphia all his life. And he was saying that some people that he knows dearly have never, a lot of people came down on me real hard when I brought my kids here to Delaware. And I talked to my godfather. He loved me so much. And he said some people never left the city of Philadelphia and never will. They were born here and they die here, and they never seen, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? They never even thought to travel outside of the city of Philadelphia, because you only go as far as your mind will take you. And you had to open up your mind more to life. Like, everything is not right there in the city that you were born in. I'm a world traveler. I love traveling to different parts of the world all together. Some people never been on a plane before. Some people don't have the desire to catch a plane to see different parts of the world. Some people don't find it as exciting as I do, but I get more out of life when I travel different parts of the world. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's a struggle. I have traveled smack dab in the middle of that so-called COVID thing that they had going on, and that was hell, and I still traveled through it or wherever. But I love to travel the world, and I don't let nothing stop me. When it's time for me to get up and go somewhere, I am getting up and going, and that has not always been my reality. But once I began to travel different parts of the world, it opened up a new side of me to me. I have so many different places of the world inside of my heart, people of different cultures and foods, and just standing on different lands and overseas and adapting to different cultures and their clothing and the way that they speak and all of those things I carry with inside of myself. And a lot of people won't even leave out their neighborhood. That is mind blowing to me. I could not believe when my godfather told me that. So we need to learn how to get out of our comfort zone, because there is more to life that lies ahead than inside of your little circle or your little bubble that you have wrapped yourself up in. There is more to life, and we need to learn how to live it. So to grow and become more wise allows us to be open to new experiences in life. So we want to be open. I don't know how many of us are just content and settled with where we have allowed our lives to settle at. I want to be able to open myself up to more experiences in life. I don't want to be complacent to where my life is. There's so much life to live. I don't think one person can travel the entire world in one lifetime, because it's just so much of it. But we can cram as much in there that we can possibly open our minds up to, reading different books, learning different things, exploring different parts of the world, traveling, and just adding more to yourself and to your life, and living your life to the fullest while you are still here. So we need to learn how to open ourselves up to more new experiences in life, and that will add to you being wise. It allows us to be more wise when we open ourselves up to more experiences. So make changes within yourself and set a good example to those around you. I'm just giving you a few tips. You don't have to do it. You can do it. You don't have to do it. But making changes within myself does not seem like a bad idea to me. There are things that I want to do much better at, and I don't mind making changes within myself. And actually, I'm so glad that I incorporated that in my lesson today, because now I want to think of different ways that I can make changes within myself. So, yeah, make changes within yourself and set a good example for those around you. Get over yourself. A lot of people just need to flat out get over themselves. Wisdom goes beyond your personal feelings. Sometimes we had to step outside yourself. So what, such and such hurt your feelings or did something. You might just not even understand where they coming from with it. You don't have to show up to every argument and fight that you are invited to. Some people are suffering on a level that you are blessed enough to not be suffering on. Sometimes we can be the bigger person that forgives some people and move past it and make the wise decision not to argue, not to fuss, not to fight, and to gain more out of life by not allowing ourselves to get all in our personal feelings every time something happens. So get over yourself. Everything is not a personal attack out on you. Some people got issues, and that is period, point blank. At the end of the day, some people deal and struggle with things that we don't even know, they don't even speak of, but they just lash out in certain ways. So don't be a fool. Consequences comes with being a fool and making foolish decisions. So I wrote that down, because if you want to look at the opposite for wisdom is as a foolish person, a person that makes foolish decisions. And I believe to a certain extent that all of us probably have been on both sides of that, making foolish decisions and learning how to make more wise decisions. And we need to kind of lean more towards making wiser and better decisions. So you don't want to have to deal with the consequences of making foolish decisions. And I know a lot of people who are suffering today and dealing with the consequences of bad decision making. So wisdom is a study of life. That is basically what it is. We are just talking about what wisdom is today. It is not super complicated. It is our everyday experiences, the things that we go through every day, applying wisdom to our life. If you don't want to continue to suffer in the ways that you used to suffer in, I am going to make the wise decision to not do the same foolish things that I used to do, because I don't want to continue to suffer in the same way. That is directly applying wisdom to your life when you make the conscious decision to make better and wiser decisions. If you know that that's where it landed you last time, what you think gonna happen this time? What do you think is going to happen? And then when you get the same results or even worse next time, and you sitting there with this dumb look on your face like, well, I don't know what happened. You're not changing your ways. You still doing the same dumb thing. You are being foolish opposed to you making wiser decisions. When is the day going to come when we learn how to make more wise decisions? I'm tired of seeing people suffering. So many people suffer in so many different ways, and we expect change. We want this change, and we expect this change, and we don't know why things is not changing. And I want different for myself, but you're not doing nothing to ensure the difference for yourself. What are you going to do to kind of lock it in? Because it's not going to just happen by chance because you want it to happen. You have to do something to make sure it happens for you. And the thing that you can do is learn how to make more wise decisions. Learn from the things that you have already been through. You live and you learn. And that's how I ended my study on wisdom. I do have one quote and one affirmation that I am going to leave you guys with before I wrap up this video. But live and you learn. And I remember repeating those words over myself so many years ago, even when I was in the thickest of my addiction. And I said to myself, you live and you learn, you live and you learn, you live and you learn. And I'm so glad that I spoke those things over myself, because had not I spoke those words of positivity over myself, I would probably still be suffering with some of the same things that I used to suffer with. So I want to be the type of person who is able to live and learn from the things that I have been through in my past. I don't want to be stuck in suffering. I don't want to continue to go through some of the same things over and over and over again. I want to learn from my mistakes. I want to grow. I want to get more out of life. I don't want to limit myself to possibilities and opportunities and all of those things, because I have myself packed up in this box, and I don't want to allow myself to learn more, to be a sponge in life, to grow more, and to kind of soak up the healthy things in life and get rid of the unhealthy things in life, and kind of live life the way that it should be lived. And a lot of people right here, right now, today, are not living life the way that it should be lived, because they are stuck and suffering in some of the things that they have been going through for way too long. So I do have a quote. And good morning. Big shout out to those who are right here on my live. I see you. God bless you. I love you, family and friends. And thank you for joining this live video. I just wanted to say that before it left my mind. But my quote is from a woman named Miss Mary Catherine Bateson. And she was a known famous author and anthropologist. And an anthropologist studies human life. Now, how interesting is that I took a quote from a person who studies human life. So this is what Miss Bateson said. We are not what we know, but what we are willing to learn. A lot of us ain't willing to learn. A lot of us shut our minds off because, like I said, we think we know everything, and we got ourselves all filled up and puffed up, and I know this and I know that, and we think that what we know defines us. But you are making a fool out of yourself, always talking about what you know, especially if you are not applying what you know to your life. We are not what we know, but what we are willing to learn. When you open yourself to knowledge, into living, into loving, into learning, you open yourself up to more possibilities in living and more life. So be willing and open to understand life on basis and terms. Like, never close yourself into being to wanting to understand life more and more every day that you live. We have to focus more on understanding ourselves and understanding life and learning more so we can get more out of life. So thank you, Miss Bateson, for that wise quote. We are not what we know, but what we are willing to learn. So today I encourage you to allow yourself to be willing to learn more today. And my affirmation is, I am wise and I trust my own inner wisdom. So I want you to be able to speak that over yourself today. Repeat that. Look at yourself today and say, I am wise and I trust my own inner wisdom. I am wise and I trust my inner wisdom. Speak that over yourself. I am wise and I trust my inner wisdom. Even if that has not been your reality, I want you to speak that over yourself and convince yourself that you are able to trust your own inner wisdom, because who should want more and better for you than you want for yourself? I can want more and better for you, but you have to care about yourself more than I care about you. So I want you to be able to trust your own inner wisdom, because you know that if no one else is going to do what is best for you, then you are going to make the wise decision to do what is best for you. So trust your own inner wisdom and know that you are wise. You are probably more wise than you realize that you are. So let's go out here and utilize our wisdom today, guys. Enjoy this Wednesday. Begin to apply wisdom in your own life more than you have ever before, and watch how you will have the difference it will make in your life. So life is more than just knowing something. It's about applying these things to your life, and when you know better, you do better, and you should be able to see the reflections of these things in your life. So God bless you, and I love you, and thank you for joining me here, viewing, watching these videos. If you have not yet going to True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube, please take the opportunity to do so. Like, share, and subscribe. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube, and become a subby. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a bunch of love and fun, joy, happiness, peace, everything, every kind of video. You can scroll through my videos, my short videos, my long videos. If you need a quick, powerful, motivational message, then I encourage you to go to True Value Knowing Your Worth and check out the videos there. Also, my books. I have 4 books that is published on Amazon right here, right now, today. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth, Walk in Treasure, Discover Your Hidden Treasure, Feed Your Soul, Your Personal Guide to Health and Wellness. And my last book for now, because I plan on writing more books, is called Religiously, and that is taking a closer look at spirituality and religion. Listen, I cannot thank y'all enough for the support and love that you have shown me so far. I mean, it is getting more and deeper, and I recognize I'm laughing. I want to go introduce myself to become a public speaker in a local institution in my neighborhood, and the administration reached back out to me, and before I could fully introduce myself, they already knew who I was. I was like, wow. And that just felt so good for, for me to not even have to like completely introduce myself to people, for people to know who I am. Yeah, I do, go around with my big mouth, and I talk to people a lot, and I spread the message of hope and love. And I know so many people are struggling with addiction and homelessness and all of these things. And these are the people that I talk to and love dearly on the regular basis. I speak to these people because I think it is important. It is not only important that I get on my social platforms and talk to you all, but it is important to go out into my neighborhood and speak to others as well. In fact, that is what I am preparing myself to do now. So God bless you. I love you guys, and thank you so much for your continued support. In the meantime, you go out here and enjoy this weather. God bless you, and you guys continue to stay blessed.